What happened to your first high school crush? Story 1. Our parents were next-door neighbors and had us within 2 weeks of one another. I'm older by 2 weeks. We grew up with each other and went from friends to best friends. Starting in 7th grade, she started coming over a few nights a week because her parents would be fighting. It got to the point that she had an overnight bag I kept under my bag. Sophomore year of high school, we finally realized that our feelings were deeper than those of best friends. Her home life was awful by then. My parents had to get CPS involved and she had to move 4 hours away to live with her aunt. Didn't keep in touch. I thought I'd lost her forever. Fast forward 10 years and I'm on my way to a business trip to South Korea. Turns out she was a rep for some medical company and was in Las Vegas for a convention. I was waiting for a connecting flight to LAX. We literally bumped into each other in the terminal. Both of us couldn't believe it. My flight got delayed and she didn't have to do anything until the next day, so we decided to go to the hotel bar. A few drinks later, it came out that both of us were single and never really got over each other. I get a crazy idea and excuse myself to check my phone. I tell her I'm calling my boss about the delayed flight. In reality, I was researching wedding chapels. I find the nicest one I can, book a nice car and come back. I ask her if she wants to cruise the strip and sightsee. She agrees and we do so. Then I ask her to close her eyes because I want to show her something special. She does and I make my way to the chapel. After a short drive, we get there and I guide her inside because she's still covering her eyes. I get handed a ring and get down on one knee. I propose to her in the chapel and she said yes. We get married in a quickie ceremony. Up until a week ago, things were going great. We became legal guardians to a secret sister she didn't know she had and also were blessed with twin girls of our own. Then she started an OnlyFans last year without telling me. I found out a few days ago and now I don't know. Story 2. Turns out she was a giant hoe who was telling me she was waiting for marriage while she was going home and fucking her 21-year-old fiancé. She was 16 at the time, her brother, and her dad. I also came across Polaroids of her fucking the family dog. We were dating at the time, so really fucked up. I mean, here I am dating her, checking out her hot mom, and not knowing that she was fucking her brother, dad, and fiancé, and the family dog. Apparently, I was the only one at that birthday party who hadn't seen her naked. We broke up but remained friends. She got pregnant our junior year, so about a year after we broke up, she dropped out of school, returned later fat, shotgun married, and graduated as a 5-year high school student. At one point she and her husband filmed themselves having sex and they were living with her parents who found the tape and refused to let them watch it because they weren't 18 years old. She has been married and divorced several times. God knows how many kids she has had. Rumor has it that she has had sex with a few of her kids. She fucked a mutual friend's boyfriend. She got her insurance license and tried to sell insurance, but that is a tough thing to get into and make money at. She found me on Facebook almost 10 years ago and I accepted the friendship request. Nice to know that I am not the biggest loser from my high school. Story 3. My first high school sweetheart, Sarah, was the epitome of effortless cool. With her tousled blonde hair, piercing blue eyes, and a laugh that could light up a room, she was the envy of the entire school. We met in sophomore biology, bonded over a shared love for obscure indie bands, and soon enough, the entire school was rooting for us. We dated for 2 years, a whirlwind of high school proms, stolen kisses in the library, and endless summer nights. Then, like a meteor crashing to Earth, Sarah's world changed. She discovered a knack for fashion, turning her bedroom into a mini boutique. What started as a hobby exploded into a full-blown business. She dropped out of college to focus on her brand, Siren Song, which quickly became a local sensation. Within 3 years, she'd sold her company to a major retailer for a staggering sum. The money fueled her entrepreneurial spirit, and she invested in tech startups, real estate, and even a sustainable fashion line. Today, she's a jet-setting power dressing mogul, married to a venture capitalist, and living a life that reads like a fairy tale. Meanwhile, my romantic endeavors were less glamorous. My virginity was lost to Jess, my sister's wild child best friend. She was a breath of fresh air, with a rebellious streak and a laugh that could melt ice. We were young, impulsive, and it felt like a rite of passage. But just as quickly as it started, it ended. She moved to West Virginia to be with some deadbeat boyfriend she'd met online, cutting me off completely. Now, at 38, the memories feel like echoes of a distant life. Sarah's success is a constant reminder of paths not taken, and Jess is just a fading ghost. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder what my life would be like if I'd made different choices. But then I look around at my comfortable apartment, my steady job, and the quiet contentment in my life and I realize that maybe, just maybe, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Story 4. He had a roller coaster of a life. I admire him more than ever, and more than most people I know, but can't wrap my head around why I ever found him physically attractive. Maybe it was always just his heart. By age 25, he had a PhD, a wife, and was a captain in the Navy. By 30, he had 2 PhDs, a small business where he made a metric ton of money, and his wife was pregnant. By 31, he was diagnosed with stage 4 skin cancer that swiftly spread to his lymph nodes, bones, esophagus, and a few other places. He was told he had a minimal chance of making it 5 more years. Even with the best health insurance money can buy, it still basically wiped him out. 7 years later, he's living a comfortable but not extravagant life as a civilian contractor for the Navy, same wife and 2 happy healthy kids, and spends most of his free time advocating for better public health care. Story 5. Maddie was the epitome of high school perfection. Valedictorian, captain of the debate team, and with a smile that could melt ice, she was the girl everyone looked up to. I admired her intellect and drive, but our relationship was more of a friendly camaraderie than a romantic one. She was always focused, her eyes set on a future far beyond our small town. After graduation, Maddie's trajectory soared. She immersed herself in the world of politics, working her way up the ladder with an intelligence and determination that was nothing short of inspiring. Her career took her to Washington, where she met and married the son of a prominent senator and ended up working with the Obama administration. Their wedding was a grand affair, a world away from our high school proms. Meanwhile, my life took a different path. I found solace in the world of books, becoming a college professor with a comfortable if somewhat ordinary existence. When it came time for our high school reunion, Sarah, unsurprisingly, was too busy to attend. It was a small pang of disappointment, but mostly, I felt a sense of peace. Her life was a testament to her ambition and talent, and while our paths diverged, I was happy to see her thriving. Looking back, I realized that our friendship was a cornerstone of my high school experience. Sarah pushed me to be a better version of myself, even if our lives ultimately followed different trajectories. And in the end, that's what truly matters. Finding happiness and fulfillment, wherever life may lead. Story 6. Jax was the golden boy of our high school. Tall, with that perfect blend of boy next door charm and a hint of bad boy. I had a massive crush on him. He was the captain of the basketball team, the guy everyone wanted to be around. But for me, he was just Jax, the boy who made my heart race with every stolen glance. Fast forward a decade, and the world has changed. So had Jax. The last time I saw him was at a random gas station. He was out of uniform, a cop now, with a baby strapped to his chest. The boy who once ruled the basketball court was now wrangling a tiny human. It was surreal. We ended up chatting for a bit. He was married, he said, to his high school sweetheart, and had 4 other kids. Life, he claimed, was a whirlwind. Yet beneath the tired eyes and the dad bod, there was a flicker of that old Jax, a spark I hadn't expected. Our encounters became more frequent. Coffee shops, random grocery store aisles, brief stolen moments. There was a magnetic pull between us, a forbidden chemistry that ignited every time our eyes met. The thrill of it was intoxicating, a secret world we shared, a dangerous dance of stolen glances and whispered promises. It was wrong, I knew that. He was a husband and a father. I was betraying someone's trust. But the physical connection was addictive, a high that nothing else could match. We were careful, always on edge, our encounters brief, passionate explosions in the mundane fabric of our lives. It was a dangerous game, a secret world we inhabited. And while a part of me felt guilty, another part was exhilarated by the forbidden nature of our connection. The news hit me like a physical blow. I was pregnant. With Jax's child. Fear, shock, and a strange kind of exhilaration crashed over me. I couldn't keep this secret from him. Our connection ran too deep, our bond too strong. Finding the courage to tell him was a nightmare. I imagined every possible reaction, from anger to denial. But I knew I had to face him. The day I finally worked up the nerve, my voice shook as I uttered the words. His face, usually so open and familiar, became a mask of shock and disbelief. He was stunned, then excited. We hooked up that night. It was crazy, wrong, and amazing all at once. Now, a few months later, I'm pregnant. Things are weird, but okay. Jax gives me money every week as he is still a police officer and we still see each other. It isn't very easy, but for now, it works. Story 7. Lexi was my best friend's girlfriend. The classic situation, right? Except she was also my biggest crush. We had this weird connection like we were on the same wavelength. She'd send me nudes while they were dating. Crazy shit I know, but we had this unspoken thing. Fast forward a few years, she goes to Europe for college and disappears. The rumor was that she was becoming a model for some designer brand. Then last year, boom, found dead. Small town, big news. Still can't shake the feeling there's more to it. Like, a lot more. She was more than just a girl at my school. We had a bond, something deeper, and to this day I wish we were able to get closer. Maybe things wouldn't have ended this way. Story 8. Trevor was the kind of guy everyone liked. The golden boy of our high school. Tall, with a charming smile and a laugh that could light up a room. He was the star quarterback, the class president, and, to me, the most unattainable boy in the world. He was kind to everyone, always had a joke to tell, and seemed to effortlessly glide through life. After high school, our paths diverged. I went to college, found a job, and built a relatively ordinary life. Trevor, on the other hand, seemed to be living the American dream. He'd married his high school sweetheart, had a couple of kids, and was a successful businessman. His social media feed was a perfect reel of a perfect life. Then came the news. A horrific car accident. A road rage incident, they said. Trevor had been involved in a heated argument with another driver, and it had escalated to violence. The other driver didn't survive. The news felt like a punch to the gut. The golden boy, the one who could do no wrong, had taken someone's life. The Trevor I knew didn't fit the narrative of a cold-blooded killer, but then again, how well did anyone really know anyone? I couldn't believe it. My high school crush was now a murderer. The image of him, smiling and carefree, haunted my dreams. It was a stark reminder that the people we put on pedestals are often just as flawed as the rest of us.